Shalom. It's your brother Malcolm coming at you with another lesson in truth. Giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Hawashai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who are my teachers, the true teachers of all Israel on earth today. The heads of that set up by Yahweh Bashem Hawashai, whether you can receive that or not. And salutations to my fellow laborers, my Akim, the confusion of facial Akim that are joined unto our ranks, and to the Akwath that are listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. This is just going to be another quick lesson, and I'm going to open with scripture. And the first scripture is going to be Jeremiah 51, starting with verse 9. And it reads, "We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone unto his own country. For her judgments reaches unto the heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies." And in this video, he's going to talk about how people are leaving California now. He's suggesting that people leave California, and there is a mass exodus. If you just go on YouTube and put in residents leaving California, there's thousands of videos are going to pop up. A lot of them telling stories like these. And this is something that needs to be heard. This is not something that you're going to hear on the local news. This is the type of information that actually builds your faith, because you can see that what we're teaching, what we're saying, what we're reading out of the Bible, the prophecies, is happening. Okay? It is happening here in America and now. Okay? Next scripture. Hold on. Stop here. And the next scripture is going to be Isaiah, the 13th chapter. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Starting at the 14th verse. And it reads, "And it shall be as a chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people." Just like it said in the other scripture, they will flee to their own countries, because a lot of people are leaving America as well. All right. "They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. And everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that shall be joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished." And that is exactly what's going to happen, because this is just this is the tip of the iceberg. Because what you're seeing happen in this small town, all right, and it's funny how he describes it. He describes the problem as being brown people, all right, and then he goes forth to show you at the end, you know, a darker brown person, all right. And there are just as many, if not more, Edomites homeless in California as there is anyone else. All right, but this is going to be a complete, total chaos. So let's proceed to watch. He's swinging so hard, sparks were flying.
This Monday evening, I've been a little absent. I've had a lot to do and had to really focus and buckle down. But this evening, while in jiu-jitsu class, trying to get the better of someone, I was...
And there you go, man. You've heard me say that many a times. You know, the only reason these Edomites go and train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a lot of cops is because they're really afraid of Jake. All right? And if you think that Jiu-Jitsu doesn't work in one-on-one combat, you're fooling yourself. You could be the best puncher, kicker person in the world, but, you know, that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you know, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, you know, it don't matter, man. You're going to get taken down off your feet, because the easiest thing to do is to tie up a boxer's hands. And they will take you down, and they will beat you up and render you unconscious or break a limb. All right? Granted, none of that is going to save you. Only the Lord can save you. All right? But this guy here, he just admitted that he's one of those type people. He's not taking the art to learn. He's taking it just so he can hurt people. And he's going to kind of let you know who those people really are that he intends to hurt.
Reflecting on Demcat's latest video, in where he talks about the proliferation of crime in small towns, and that you might be escaping a big city because of the criminal element, but you're going to find it in small towns. And unfortunately, he's right. And I say that from experience. I was born and raised in a small Central Valley town of California, where there was one junior high and one high school, and there was a good chance that you went from preschool to graduating high school with the same group of people. And though you may not have known them, you knew them by sight. Also, I remember being able to go to sleep at night with just the screen door shut. True, it might have been latched, but there was no second thought to criminals or kidnappings or serial killers. We just didn't have that in our small town. And I witnessed that in the 80s and the 90s, but something happened in the 2000s, and you started seeing the importation of big city crime. And it was fomented in some parts by the California leadership with their welfare programs. And I know for a fact that they were paying homeless people from bigger cities to come to the smaller towns. And the reason that you're seeing so much crime occur in these small towns is because these small towns aren't equipped for these inner city criminals and their criminal behavior. You know, these small towns just don't have the infrastructure, the police force, and so these small towns really become hostages to these ne'er-do-wells. And because there's no repercussions for low-level criminal behavior, you're seeing a large class of emboldened criminals run roughshod. You know, it used to be safe in the small town I grew up in. Not anymore. You know, I remember it was sometime in the late 80s, out of nowhere, there was this big, like, Vato Cholo scene that started springing up. And, like, the little kids in school...
Let's stop it right there for a moment. I'm going to read a scripture. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 15. The point is in 16. But he talked about emboldening crime and emboldening criminal activity. Well, mainly that's because of the lack of bread and you know, basically, meaning, you know, bread, when I say it, I mean jobs and ways to support yourself. And, you know, all these people just didn't decide to wake up and be homeless. A lot of these people actually had jobs, careers, families, etc., etc. Now, granted, there's going to be a sufficient number of them who are drug addicts, you know, drug addicts and that sort of thing. But I've seen doctors homeless on the streets, man. All right, seen documentaries about it. So this could happen to anyone, especially in this day and age. Because why? Because, you know, America's failing, man. The grinding is ceasing. Hell, just read about how Foot Locker's getting ready to close another, you know, couple hundred stores or whatever. So, you know, that the retail apocalypse rages on, man. So what do you think happens to a lot of these people? They end up homeless, sleeping in their cars or sleeping on the streets. This is 2nd Ezra 15. And yeah, 15 and 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So this is, you know, that's the racial aspect of it. But, you know, there's going to be people from the same races going at each other too. But mainly, it is going to turn very racial. And there are going to be the prophesied race riots in America. I'm reading about it. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's basically what he's talking about. These emboldened criminals just outright doing crime, because they're disregarding the law of the land. Let's continue.
People started emulating it too, and it was real foreign. It was like that American Me stuff in retrospect, right? The little kids emulating it. And slowly but surely, the gangs started creeping in, and now it's no longer safe to be out at night. We've got drive-by shootings. People are getting run over. Parks are no longer safe. You're seeing women getting sexually assaulted at the local park. People are getting assaulted and robbed by gangs at these local parks. I mean, when a small town is a 10-minute bike ride from one end to the other, how can you really have a good side of town? I mean, the good side of town is now hostage. You're seeing doors being kicked in the middle of the afternoon. Children are hiding in the closets, and the people that are kicking in the doors are making contact with the children.
Mind you, the Bible just said that before it happened.
The transient population has exploded, so much so that the transients are urinating and defecating in the backyards of the good neighborhoods. Their little encampments are springing up all along the highway, all along the empty lots. Any vacant lot is being treated like a landfill for stained mattresses and urine-soaked couches. It's really looking like a third world country out here in California. I don't know what it's like for Kentucky. I don't know what Demcat is seeing. But out here in California, if you think this is nice, then you've been probably living under a rock or living next to an open sewage pipe. Because I can assure you that right now, the standard of California is that of a third world renter state. And right now, local politicians, state leaders, and by extension, the employees of California have become despots and the local warlords.
All right, Second Ezra again. Starting at, this is chapter 15, starting at 19. And a man shall have no pity on his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. All right, because of the lack of bread and the great tribulation. Okay, so as a matter of fact, let me read a portion of Isaiah the 13th chapter again, because what this was prophesied to happen. To where? In Babylon, in America, to Edom. See, this is Isaiah the 13th chapter and the 16th verse. Their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, and their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. All right, like he said, they're kicking in doors in the broad daylight, putting their hands on the children, and he said women are being raped in parks and anywhere. All right, that is going to be the normal in the very short time to come. As a matter of fact, I'm going to, if you can follow the arrow as I'm taking it across the screen, all right, and you see it's on this video right down here on the bottom right side of the screen. That's a video that I'm going to watch and maybe do a breakdown on it using the scriptures, because it says most will not survive what's coming after April. And the way things are going, it's looking like that really will be some very horrible things in America come April. And you know what? I pray it be so. And if you don't, then you're not in the spirit of the Lord, man. You're not hastening the day. All right. You're comfortable here in Babylon. You're comfortable on the Titanic as it's sinking. All right. Because maybe you got a first class cabin, you know, a bottle of 20-year-old scotch and a big booty girl, or for some of you, a dude. All right. So you're comfortable in Babylon. But trust me, your first class cabin is going underwater and you're going to drown with everyone else.
The tax collectors here in California are local warlords. And every year they need more, while law-abiding, tax-paying citizens are expected to do less. and everyone with their hand out is demanding more. It's dangerous to be out here in California. It's a sanctuary state. Criminals are the preferred class because they're at least bereft of any type of vote or making any type of real splash politically.
And your vote doesn't matter anyway. This is an idiot who believes in the system.
Neither can law-abiding citizens unless you're able to pay the toll. If you can't pay that toll, you can't have a gun. So by extension, if you're poor and live in California,
he's talking about the working
can't
poor.
Protect yourself. You are to be expected to be the victim and to call for help and just hope that the feral criminals that are running wild don't get you.
There's another video that he actually did. The information checks out too. The CalPER, their pensions. So all these cops that are retired and these firemen and all these city workers and state workers, their pensions are getting ready to disappear, man. So California is going to be a really, really rough place very soon. And what's going on there is going to spread and is spreading like cancer across the states. So what he's complaining about is getting ready to be the norm across Babylon, man. All right. This is Deuteronomy 30:7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and put them that hate thee, and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. So all these nations, starting with Edom, that have persecuted us, and all the curses that we went through, they're starting to feel it. This is why he's making this video, because he's feeling the curses, and he can see them creeping up on him and his kind, and he doesn't like it.
The police have their hands full, and they're being disenfranchised as well, because it's catch and release. Catch and release.
Pretty soon, police are going to be targets. A lot of them are going to be staying home to protect their own families when this stuff finally breaks.
Shot by illegal aliens, and there is no repercussions.
Being shot by illegal aliens. You might be talking about the Iscarite that killed the Edomite, the fake Jewish broad down in San Francisco. All right, and that sort of thing is happening on a normal. All right, but that's just the curses coming back on you. And it's just, you know, so funny how California is Issacarite land. You know, same thing going on in South Africa, man. You Edomites are starting to feel it. All right, you want to move into someone else's land and then call them an alien. All right, and so these people are kicking in doors. Why? Because they feel like they're taking what's theirs in the first damn place. You had no business being on this land, so you build a house on somebody else's property. They should have access to it. There it is.
In fact, it's almost expected. Well, that's all I got to say. That's how bad it is out here in California, especially in small towns. No one is safe. In fact, check out this additional footage. This is what we're seeing every day in California. Take care, guys. Support the channel. Rate, comment, subscribe. Be safe.
So now he's showing you Judah. All right? Bugged out Judite.
I know that, you fuck!
It said wisdom maketh a wise man mad. You know? And besides, it says, you know, Judah's going to get riled up, man. You know, that lion's whelp. And when people get sick and tired of being sick and tired, eventually that breaking point's going to come, man. And Judah going to be at your throat, man. Yeah, Jake mad, man.